Oh, it's cold. I could not resist. Welcome to Coffee with Guillem this morning. One in the sea, actually. Let me get dressed. And the start is over. I'm gonna take you to one of my favorite places for coffee and newspapers. Listen, coffee, you may recognize which part of Barcelona this is. Let me show you. Sant Joan Avenue. You can see Arc de Triomphe at the end. And it's that time of the morning, so let's go and get the papers and the coffee. Mundo Deportivo, Sport, Marca and As, El País. Los diarios de hoy y un café con leche de avena. Right, I've got my coffee, I've got the papers. So let's have a look what the papers tell us about the Euro so far, and in particular Spain. Welcome to the future, it says in AS. Great cover. The Spain-Germany will have the two biggest couple of the Euros, Musiala and Wirtz against Lamine and Nico. None of them is older than 21, and his value in the market is about 300 million. Yes, welcome to the future. Now Marca has gone for the controversy. I like that. Lemon, the goalkeeper, you remember him, is not taking it seriously. Spain is small and lacks experience, almost like an under-18 side. What? What games has he been watching? Sport, fear to Lamine. Germany is scared of Lamine Yamal. I'm not sure about that. But in Germany, they're saying that he will soon be a Ballon d'Or contender. And Sané said in his press conference, playing like this at 16 is just incredible. So the last one, Mundo Deportivo, here, kids game. And again, he goes and points out Musiala, Wirtz, Lamine and Nico. Did you see Nico and Lamine just fighting for a water bottle and playing it at stone, paper and scissors? It was so sweet. And the way that Nico, having won, was like, right, it's my turn for the water, so you go away. What a relationship, great relationship they both have. And just because of that, I would love Spain to continue for that and other reasons. I spoke to Marcelino Elena, former Spanish international, about Spain because I wanted you to look into more detail what we've been doing and how we've been doing it. And this is my conversation with him. You were a Spanish international. You're very proud of what you're seeing. And tell us what your perception is of the national side.
Well, I will agree with the general idea of everybody who's watching this competition, this tournament, can agree that Spain is the most fluid team so far, the team that's winning the games with consistency, with they are like ticking all the boxes. Are they aggressive in defense? Yes, they are. Do they control the games? Yes, they do. Are they good attacking? Yes, they are. I would say they are the team that's scored the most number of goals. They've probably created the most chances. They play in a certain way. We all have in our minds this is the way a team should play like, or at least in Spain or within the Spanish mentality, this is how we feel the national team should play like. You think about how the team should win a game. This is what they are doing.
Let's go a little bit deeper on how they play, because you don't get any other side in the tournament, I don't think, that does that pressure high intense and continues for at least 70, 80 minutes. Nobody else has done that. Switzerland did it, but just one game. And also with two wingers. I feel that, yes, teams are playing with offensive players and attack a lot, but you don't have two wingers because their way of attacking, in a way, is a bit conservative, because they're also thinking when we lose the ball, we'll all be there together and compact. But we don't mind. We play two wingers and see if you can beat your defender. That's also relatively new and enjoyable to watch, no?
What is new in a way is that these two wingers have the belief and the capacity to take on their defenders, every time they have the ball at their feet, they go and try to attack the fullback, and they make them run backwards, and they are successful in many occasions. They know exactly what they're doing when they take the ball, and they don't often lose it. They take on the defenders often. Against top defenders, they are able to also hurt them, and it is a threat for any defense having those two wings that Spain has at the minute. But it's not just because they have the quality, but because they have the intention. I believe that they are somehow pushed from the coach to go and try and attack. And if you can't beat the defender, don't worry, go for him next time, and the other. Because if you try 10 times and you take the defender 3, it's very good. But if you do it 6 or 7 as they do, then it's fantastic.
Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal doing an exceptional job. Now, the midfield seems very balanced. And one thing that, unlike other national sides, it's very clear is that they all play in their position. They don't have to learn new traits. They just play in their position. But Rodri, Fabian, Pedri, or Olmo when he comes on, they're very balanced. How do you think that has been done?
Well, I would say what Spain has in that midfield area, both in attack and in defense, is flexibility, obviously creativity, capacity to recover the ball and react very quickly once the team loses possession. But it's not like there is a line of 5 or 4 midfielders who are playing flat in the same line. There is this flexibility that allows them to jump and press into certain areas. You don't see Pedri only receiving the ball at the edge of the box, but you sometimes see him receiving in midfield areas, coming short, receiving from the center backs or the full backs. Is this flexibility and this mobility these two players offer what makes Spain different? Because not only they have the capacity to cover a lot of ground, but also they have a lot of creativity and they can score goals, as we've seen with Fabian. Is this type of players, this versatility of the Spanish players in these midfield areas, what I believe makes the difference for Spain.
You were right when you were saying that we create the biggest amount of chances. You're right when you say as well that we don't have so much possession these days. In fact, it's Germany the one who is topping that stat of a percentage of possession. We seventh in the group stages, of course, after Georgia. That may change because we had a lot of the ball, but we don't need that much of the ball. But we will play against a team that looks very much like we used to look in the last decade or so in Germany. How do you picture that one?
Well, Germany is always a strong team when you get to these stages, and you have to face any of the teams left in the Euros. You always are going to find it very hard to win. But there's some examples in the history of the games between Spain and Germany where Spain has been superior and has been able to beat Germany and show some authority. I would say that Spain has a better chance of playing better football against big teams. It's happened also in the past. You have a lot more difficulties to play against teams that sit back and defend with a low block, and you have to do a lot in order to find a gap. And if you play against a team that will also try to dominate the game and show that they play home and look how good we are, then perhaps you have a bit more spaces and you find other ways of hurting the opposition, and not just by small passing and very small spaces in a crowded area covered with a lot of defenders and midfielders and all that, right? So I would say it's a very different game that Spain is going to play against Germany, and I can see Spain with this difference that I'm underlining. I can see them beating Germany and probably showing some authority as well in the game.
Wow, we score, we don't concede, we have so many layers, we've got very good players. I cannot be cautious. I kind of find a foul, and by the sounds of it, after speaking 50 minutes to you, you can either. So
I'm,
anyway,
I'm, I'm positive by nature, right? I'm positive by nature, but this is also the way I see it. I would say that we have a lot of things to be proud of, and the way Spain has played um, it obviously has to give us a lot of confidence. Saying this, of course, playing big games in big competitions is always very hard, and you always have to respect the opposition, especially if it's Germany, of course.
that's right. But yeah, let's enjoy what we got at the moment. Marcelino, it's always a great pleasure talking to you.
No, my pleasure, Guillem, whenever.
For Spain, though, it's all about the process. The federation is run like a football club, so it's logical in a way, even though it hasn't happened that often, that the manager is the former under 19 and former 21 manager, because he knows what's required, because he knows the players that come through the ranks, and he has actually been calling them up. Cucurella, Fabian Ruiz, Dani Olmo, Unai Simon, all those guys were with him when he won the under-19s European Championships, and with the under-21s European Championship as well. And with him in charge, Spain got the silver medal of the Tokyo Olympic Games. So it's all about process. And that reminded me, I wanted to bring back conversations that I had on a stage at Soccerex in Amsterdam recently. It was all about the process. And I want you to hear some clips of it, because it goes for Spain and it goes for any other team. It goes for what happens in football clubs. You know, you're sometimes too impatient and want, new signings and the manager to go. The good clubs, the ones that are run well, are the ones that actually run it as part of a process. With this up and down for sure, but with a goal. And in the difficult times, when you don't know where to look, you always go back to the process. Have a listen. But the hardest thing in football, I think, is to get everybody think the same way. So how did you manage to do that? How does that work?
I think like all good businesses, and football is a business, first and foremost, it comes from the top. And there was a clear vision and a clear strategy from our owner that we trust the data. The data tells us what we are looking for, and we use the data to drive us. It's not the key, it's not the only thing that we use, particularly in regards to recruitment, but it does tell us what we should think about how we're going to do in a season and the challenges we might face. Obviously, this last season has been particularly difficult for a lot of clubs, Brentford included, with injuries. Many clubs have suffered, and that's just part and parcel of the game, but it's been pretty brutal this year. And so we ended up not doing quite as well as we'd hoped, but we understood why, and the underlying data was still supporting the fact that when our players come back, we should do better. So we trusted the data, and therefore at no time did we think we were going to get relegated. There were lots of people saying, you're getting a bit close to the bottom three. We never went into the bottom three, and we never believed we would.
You already touched on things that you heard, that you've learned from. So, Cliff, I'll give you the last word before we go.
You have to remember where you come from. You need to try things. You need to trust in what you have learnt in your past that's worked, and just follow that vision, follow that process, and be confident that what you believe in is the right thing to do. And if it continues to work, then great. And when it doesn't work, okay, you put it down to experience and you move on. That's it for now. There are no games, but a lot to do. Like myself, I have to make my way to Berlin. So I'll see you tomorrow from Germany.